Good morning, everybody. Behind the Badge, we're in Webster Parish this morning and what I want to do here is talk about, Veterans Day is going to be next Tuesday, so it's on its way. There are a lot of men and women who served in the military and then transitioned into law enforcement. Robert Davis is one of those. Alan Girillo, why do you got Robert? It's Alan, right?
Alan's my middle name, yes.
Okay, I love it. All right, you were at the Webster Parish Sheriff's Office.
Yes, sir.
But at the age of 21, you joined the Marine Corps.
Yes, sir.
Because? Why?
I have a long history of military service in my family. My grandpa, he was in the Navy, and then he got out of the Navy and he went to the FBI.
Okay.
My uncles, my cousins, they're all in the Marine Corps. I got a couple of them in different services. Most of them are in the Marine Corps.
Okay. Went through boot camp the whole time?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
South Carolina, Parris Island,
Okay.
recruit training.
Wow. Probably the hardest thing you've ever done?
It was one of the toughest things I've done. Yes, sir.
All right. Deployed to the Middle East.
Yes, sir. Afghanistan.
Tell me about your service there.
Deployed to Afghanistan, OEF. Went over there for 7-month deployment.
Okay.
Came back in 2014.
Okay.
And then I transitioned out of the Marine Corps.
All right.
Off of active duty.
Okay.
And then I went active reserve for a while.
Okay.
I did that, and then.
At some point, you decided to go into law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
Served in Dixie Inn for a good while.
Yes,
for
sir.
Several years.
Yes, sir. I got out of the Marine Corps. I came back home to Minden, where I was born and raised. And then a buddy of mine told me about a job opening with the Dixie Inn Police Department. I went down there and I talked to the former chief, Jim Edwards.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
The skill set that you learn going through the military, Marine boot camp, the discipline, the structure, all of those things, I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, transitions very easily into law enforcement.
Yes.
The same skill set.
Yeah, same skill set. The honor, courage, commitment. The core values of the Marine Corps. They transition over into law enforcement.
Right.
The attention to detail. Stuff like that. It's a big help when you do get into law enforcement.
Amen. All right. So you wear the badge, I'm assuming proudly.
Yes, sir.
Tell me why.
Like I said, a friend of mine recommended, Dixie Inn to me. I really wasn't thinking about law enforcement at that time.
Right.
When I went down there and talked to Jim, I got into it. He hired me. Council hired me, and I spent, better part of 10 years down there.
Right.
Ended up leaving as a chief, and then I came over here to Webster.
Okay.
But
why are you proud to wear the badge?
But once I got into law enforcement, I realized that, this job isn't about getting accolades and everything from everyday people, but it's a good job and it's a good feeling that you get knowing you help somebody in their worst day.
Yes.
Even though, nobody at the end of the day says, hey, you did a great job, you're, this and that. Most of the time you're getting cussed out and this and that, but,
I understand.
But it's a good feeling knowing you've done something.
Amen. Amen. Good thing, and proud to be Marine always.
Yes, sir.
That's an amazing achievement, and also proud to wear the badge. Robert Davis, Sheriff's Deputy in Webster Parish. Back to you. All right, good morning, everybody. Rick Rowe, Behind the Badge. We're in Webster Parish this morning with Robert Davis. I wanted Robert, or someone like Robert, because Veterans Day is coming up, and I know there are a lot of fellows who go into the military and then transition out from there, and often they go into law enforcement, which is what you did. Let's talk about Marine boot camp. You have a history. Your grandfather, was it World War II? Was he a World War II guy?
He was
Vietnam?
in during that time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Then he went into the FBI. So
Yes.
you've got a family history of it.
Yes.
At the age of 21, you go into the Marines.
Yes, sir.
You knew what to expect.
I knew somewhat to expect, yes, sir.
How would you describe that 3 months?
3 months is a lot of no sleep, long hours, a lot of physical activity, and a lot of learning.
Okay.
A lot of learning.
Yes. And glad you went through that?
Absolutely. It was one of the it was one of the toughest experiences, but one of the best experiences I've ever been through.
When you say the best, what do you mean by that?
It taught me a lot. Taught me a lot about myself. Knowing what my limits are, knowing what I can push through my limits.
Yes.
So.
All right. Deployed to Afghanistan. So actually had in-country service.
Yes, sir.
Decided to get out and eventually ended up in law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
Why?
I just friend of
You
mine
fell
told
into it.
yeah,
You
I
told
felt-
me
yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
It just kind of happened.
Yeah, a friend of mine told me about the job. I got into it.
But glad you did.
Ended up loving the job.
Okay.
Love every minute of it. It's not a glorifying job, but there's a lot of good that comes out of it,
Yeah.
and you feel good knowing that you've done something.
Let's talk about a real instance. We had the big floods of 2016.
Yes, sir.
There's an underpass right over here
In
outside
Dixie
of
Inn.
Dixie Inn.
Yes, sir.
There are 4 ladies, elderly ladies. One of them actually has a wheelchair, that are stuck in how many feet of water?
It was a good 6 to 8 foot of water. Almost. Yes.
You had to swim to them.
Yeah, I had to tread pretty good amount of water to get over to the other side of the overpass or underpass, and then off the exit ramp, and then I ended up getting to them, and they couldn't walk through the water, couldn't get them out, couldn't get the car back that way, so I ended up having to push the vehicle all the way through the underpass to the other side, towards the Family Dollar, to get them out of the water and into safety, because that water was cold that night.
Yes, yes. How do you feel about that?
To be honest with you, I never even got their names or anything. I never, I got them out, got them safety, made sure they were good, and then I kind of went on to the next thing.
Have never spoken to, had any interaction with?
Yeah, not since then, no. But I'm, like I said, I don't do this job for accolades and good attaboys and this and that. Just knowing that I help is, good enough.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
I would agree, but I would say this: when you do something like that for somebody, a thank you. I'm assuming they said thank you.
Oh, absolutely, they
Okay.
did. Yes.
Good, because we owe you guys a lot of things. It is those kind of situations that come up the worst day of our lives, and you're usually there to help us out of that worst day. Brother Brian, coming back to you. Thank you, Brother Brian. Rick Rowe, Behind the Badge. Veterans Day is just a few days away, so I wanted to explain to folks that there are a lot of guys who served in the military and then transition into law enforcement. This is one of them. Robert Davis, Webster Parish. We're in Minden this morning. You're a deputy with the Webster Parish Sheriff's Office. All right, you went into the Marine Corps.
Yes, sir.
By the way, Semper Fi. Be very proud of that. That's an incredibly, proudful organization. You should be proud that you were a part of that. Boot camp was tough. 3 months, Parris Island.
Yes, sir.
I can imagine. The skill set that you learned there, I assume when you transition into law enforcement, transitions very well.
Absolutely. It's a very easy transitioning from military into law enforcement. All the core values of the Marine Corps, honor, courage, commitment, attention to detail, the discipline that comes with it, it all transitions over very, very easily.
And you made the decision to go in law enforcement. You kind of fell into it.
Kind of fell into it through a buddy of mine, told me about a job opening. I went down there, talked to the chief, started with Dixie Inn, 2014, and then stayed there for almost 10 years, and then I came to the sheriff's office.
Okay. I want to mention that you were also deployed to Afghanistan, to the Middle East, during your Marine Corps tenure. Let's go back to 2016, the big flood that we had. And you just never know when you're going to be called on to maybe save a life. You had a situation, floodwaters underneath one of the overpasses here, and 4 ladies in a car stranded in deep water. What happens?
So during 16, during the floods, vehicle come off the interstate, ended up getting stranded through high water. Somebody notified me about it. I was on the other side of the bridge.
You literally had to swim.
I literally had to swim. It was about 6 to 8 foot of water, the deepest part going underneath that underpass.
Wow.
And so I went over there and told them, I was like, hang on, and I couldn't get them to go back that way. Their car was, out.
You literally had to push it.
Literally had to push that
300
car.
yards. That's 3 football fields.
Yeah, almost 300 yards, through the intersection all the way up to the, get them to safety and dry.
This is the kind of thing, and you never know. When you went to work that day, had no idea.
I had no idea that, the water was going to rise so high and flood like that.
Right. So proud to be a Marine, and always, you'll always be a Marine, and proud to wear the badge.
Absolutely.
Tell me why.
So it like I said, it's not a job that we get a lot of whole accolades and good boys and, doing a great job, but not here for that. If I wanted that, I would have went to do a different profession.
I understand.
So, just knowing that you did something, good, because we see people at their worst days most days.
Yes.
But just knowing that you can help, in some sense is good enough for me.
Amen. Oh, by the way, let's finish with this. That is one beautiful picture, one beautiful little boy. Jethro Wyatt Davis would be
My son. Yeah. Yeah. Just over a year old now.
Got him dressed in Marine Corps outfit. Isn't that something? You got to love it. There is an association, folks, so we're mighty proud of those who serve in the military. God bless them. And we're equally proud of those who serve and who wear the badge. Back to you. Hey, Brother Brian, you know, I've got a better picture. Now, Jet, a beautiful work of art that he put together, but I've got a better picture than that. I want you to see something. Look at this. His name is not Jet. His name is Jethro Wyatt Davis. He's a little one-year-old little boy wearing that Marine Corps outfit. I love that picture. Alan Davis, this is his papa, because you wore that same, a little bit bigger, Marine Corps uniform. Joined the Marine Corps at 21, went through 3 months of hell at Paris Island, boot camp and all of that, served in the Marines, were deployed to the Middle East, did all of that, came home, and eventually, it took a while, transitioned into law enforcement. And now
yes,
you're a deputy with the Webster Parish Sheriff's Office.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
That skill set that you learn, and the reason I'm doing this is because Veterans Day is coming up, and I know there's a lot of men and women who served in the military and transitioned to law enforcement. And that's a good transition, right? My question to you is, do ex-military guys and gals make good cops?
Yes, yeah, they do. The military itself, you know, the discipline they instill, the training they get, you know, attention to detail, you know, it all transitions over to law enforcement and is a big, you know, step ahead of somebody that just, you know, come off the street, you know, that basically that would want to be in law enforcement.
Absolutely makes sense. You served for a long time. I think you were sheriff at Dixie Inn. Was that right?
I was with Dixie Inn for 10 years almost.
Okay.
I was a chief before I left Dixie Inn and came over to sheriff's office.
Okay. Proud to serve.
Absolutely, 100%.
All right. And you never know. This is the thing about law enforcement, and the same thing with the military. You never know what's when you wake up on a particular day, what you're going to face. In 2016, you guys remember this, we had the big floods. You had a situation where you had 4 ladies in a car stranded under an overpass in enough water where you had to swim.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So in 16, vehicle come off the interstate, got stranded in high water.
Right. I mean, 6, 7, 8, you had to tread water to get to them.
Yeah, during the deepest part of it, it was about 6 to 8 foot of water, somewhere around there. But I had to come through, swim across underneath the interstate to get to them.
Right.
And I ended up pushing the car through the water with them inside. They weren't able to get out and walk.
Right.
You know,
300 yards.
and
That's 3 football fields.
About 300 yards
My
to
goodness.
get them to safety.
Freezing cold water.
Yeah, it was some cold water that day.
Wow.
Yeah,
and again, when you woke up that morning, you had no idea what you were going to be faced with.
Absolutely none.
Okay. I hope people say thank you to you when you do things like that.
Yeah, they did say thank you.
Okay, that's good. By the way, and I love what you said earlier, 97% of the people that you encounter treat you well.
Absolutely.
So there's a tiny percentage, certainly where we live. It may be different in other parts of the country, but here, people love, respect people who wear the badge.
Absolutely.
Right? And would you be okay with this guy someday joining up?
If he wants to do it, he wants to do it.
There he goes. He's making his television debut, Jethro Wyatt Davis. Coming back to y'all.